Lo, it will come to pass that the puppets of time will rule the land and will unite the nations through humor and wit, and that the way of the leaf will be known far and wide for their puppety goodness and overall unscripted fun times. And beautiful peals of laughter shall top every mountain and sweep through every vale, a joyous wind of mirth and peace that proclaims,
"This is the LeafCast," with Ryan and his brother Dan, and first-time readers Todd, Josh, and KayK. A deep dive into Robert Jordan's epic fantasy series, The Wheel of Time. Let the puppets of chaos rule!
Aussie!
Welcome to the LeafCast, a first-time reader show based on the epic fantasy series The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. My name is Ryan, and I am happy to see everyone again.
Yeah! Hi, Ryan. And I'm Ryan's brother Dan, and I am equally happy to see everyone again.
Oh, is that a coincidence, Dan? Did you write those in your notes?
Yeah, it's right here. I am equally happy to see. Yeah, it's weird.
Hey, everybody. Can you believe it? We're on episode 117. We're doing Lords of Chaos, chapters 7 through 11. And these are hefty chapters. Hefty, meaty, beefy. Like gargantuan chapters. These are the megalodons of chapters.
Yeah. They're needy and they're beefy.
Like rigatoni, like a Chef Boyardee. All right, everybody. First, before we go, I want to say thank you to our brand new Patreons. At the tavern, at the innkeeper level, we have Sandra Lee. And
awesome.
As a tavern patron, Diljeet Narwal, thank you so much. You guys mean
awesome.
the world to us.
Yes.
All right, before further ado, let's bring him in. You know him, you love him. Is he sussy?
Yeah,
Is he a hussy?
Yeah, maybe.
Does he come from Truckee? That doesn't rhyme.
Can he occasionally be fussy?
Oh, let's bring him in. Our good friend, Josh, the first-time reader. Hello, Josh.
Hello.
How are
How
you?
are you, Ryan?
I'm doing all right. I'm on the mend, but I'm hanging in there.
Good.
Welcome, my friend, Energy Rush Radio. Catch the spirit, catch the wind. Like that kind of rush?
No, if we go viral, if we get as famous as we should be, I think we should be on Sesame Street.
I think so too. Yeah.
Like we're highly skilled.
Guys, how much do you think those brownstones cost now? They're probably like $1.2 million. Where the little store is now a Starbucks. There's a sushi place there. Oscar does not live there.
No. They annexed him.
There is no Snuffleupagus anymore. Mr. Hooper is no longer there. Yeah, it's really a changed neighborhood now, but the street is still the same as far as the name. So if you live on Sesame Street and you ask someone, can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? You don't even ask anyone now. You just look on your phone. You're like, how far am I? Oh, I'm 7 blocks this way and 4 blocks that way. All right.
Yeah, sunny days. Keeping our cares away. Yep. All right, Josh. So Josh texted us. I almost said he tweeted us. He texted us some feelings. Josh is in his feelings about these chapters. I'm excited for the show.
As am me.
As am me. As am I. All right.
As am I.
All right, let's get into them.
Well, yeah, let's go ahead.
Sure.
I mean, we're in chapter 7. It's called A Matter of Thought. It is a like swirly kind of shell-looking icon.
It's a dream ring.
Okay, the dream ring. It's a dream ring. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're going into Tel'aran'rhiod. It's Elaine and Nynaeve. They're apparently using some of the fakes, the copies that Elaine has managed to create. There's 3 of them, and Swan herself has the OG ring, but these rings work just as fine. But they take some sleeping draft, and boom, they're in Tel'aran'rhiod. Swan and Leanna, they're already there, and then 6 Aes Sedai pop in. Boom. And I guess this is kind of a training thing, but it's a spy thing. They all go to Elida's study and are just checking shit out. They're just rummaging like little cobbler elves.
Like it's January 6th.
Yeah.
And at Nancy Pelosi's office.
They're just taking pictures of laptops and stuff. Yeah. I think I saw someone carry out Elida's podium. Ryan, that's so funny. Good job.
I'm back, baby.
I mean, I do want to mention, before they start channeling, there is this bit about like Elaine reflecting on making the ter'angreal, which I thought was kind of interesting. That she only failed once out of 4 attempts to produce a copy. Pretty cool. And she doesn't understand the how or the why, but she's still able to do it, which is kind of fascinating.
Right.
Well, isn't that kind of... We've seen that happen with other characters, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like them figuring out a weave. It's very similar. I mean, I guess these are just weaves. I guess that's kind of the point. The ter'angreal are like weaves that are affixed to an object.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good way.
I guess they are just weaves, aren't they?
Weaves affixed to an object. Huh. Well,
solid blue one.
The same as like a sarangreal and an angreal itself.
Yeah, it's a good. I don't know. We haven't really been exposed that much to those.
Yeah.
But it's funny that the colors matter, right? Like the blue one gives you nightmares. But she didn't know how to make the red, blue, and brown that the original one is made out of. So the other ones are slightly different colors, but they're slightly weaker. Yeah.
And it is reflective a tiny bit in Tel'aran'rhiod.
Yeah, that they're a little more wishy-washy looking.
Ephemeral, yeah.
All right, here's a good question. MaTsDaGger wants to know, Josh, is it a built-in talent or is it the pattern?
Capital P pattern.
Sorry, what is that in relation to?
What we were talking about earlier.
The creation
the knowing,
of the Unreal?
Yeah, knowing but not knowing why or how.
I see. A built-in talent. Is that a talent or is that the pattern using her? Yeah, how do you tell the difference, I guess?
Yeah.
Apples and oranges. Uh-oh. Mrs. Jovie's back.
Hey!
Apples.
Hola!
Like...
Did they say hola in Brazil, in Portuguese? How do you say hello?
They go ciao.
What? Oh, you ciao.
Ciao, Bella. Ciao. I mean, ciao, I think it's more like apples and quince. Like, it's really hard to tell them apart until you bite in.
Okay.
What I was thinking,
did you just say apple in another language? What's a quince?
A quince? That's another fruit. Looks a lot like an apple. Very bitter
until
they're ripe.
Quince?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A quince? You say quince. I say
quince.
All right. So they go to sleep. Boom. They're in Tel'aran'rhiod. And they tell
there's this bit about the wild creatures again, and how domesticated animals aren't there, but the wild ones are. It's still kind of a weird thing I haven't figured out the why of.
Right. Okay, so you said, yeah. Okay.
Domesticated animals are not there. Yeah, why?
But they hear wild birds and stuff all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, there's wild animals, rats, feral dogs and stuff. But like the horses and the humans, animals are not. And is that because they're closer to humans? Are these living animals or are they dead? Like when they're in there, are they even real? Or are they a part of their perception of something that they don't understand that's there? Or something else? I don't know.
I love that. Well, we do have evidence of dead animals being in the dream world.
The dream world, right? Yeah. Like the wolf dream.
Maybe this is where all dead animals go to.
Yeah. This is heaven.
This is heaven.
Yeah.
I mean, not real heaven because they don't have souls, right?
I always thought, flea bags went to a little farm just up the road,
Yeah.
And I mean, are the animals there because they're dreaming, or are they there doing just like in their normal consciousness? That's like the other side of that. And if so, why are they there for so long? Yeah. Interesting thing.
By the way, hello, Howie Stevens. It's good to see you again. Welcome back, baby. Yeah, that's interesting. And it's fun that they don't know either. They're like, that's weird. There's no pets, but there are animals, but not any animals that are attached per se to people. So,
right.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a really fascinating thing to ponder, actually.
I mean, the wolf the wolves can enter the wolf dream while conscious, right? Just like Perrin can.
I don't. Oh, ooh.
Okay.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if we know that.
I don't know.
Is Perrin always asleep when he had the wolf dream? I feel like there were times when he didn't like go to bed. He just like would happen.
Well, there was
narcoleptic.
He would just like enter into it.
I will say that there's been a time when, especially when he was chasing after Slayer.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of when he was chasing after Slayer.
That Hopper was like, "You're here too strongly," I think is the term he used. But I don't know if that. I don't remember Perrin just being like, "All right, I'm gonna go get Slayer." Now I'm in Tel'aran'rhiod.
Right. Yeah.
What is that emoji? I like it.
I love it. Just my new favorite human.
Is that
Okay. And ERR, have you read the books? Are you familiar with the Wheel of Time? Let us know.
ERR. Right? I love this commitment. Just being so nonchalant about just throwing out just acronyms.
I'm the great renamer.
So good.
Okay, sorry. So we can continue. The 6 of the older Aes Sedai come. Spirit's the only thing you can channel in your sleep. They're wearing 6 copies of. No, they're using 3 copies each of the other ter'angreals that did the dream stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not the rings.
Correct. Yeah, the little statuette, I think.
The statuette.
Yeah.
Small plaques in amber. Let's see. The first, somewhere around them, 3 would have a small disc of what had once been iron, scribed on both sides with a tight spiral, powered by a flow of spirit. The only 5 powers that can be channeled while you were sleeping.
Hold on, is that the icon that we're seeing? Did you just describe the chapter?
No,
icon?
I think that's the one that Elaine's using is the chapter icon. It's the the ring that's a Mobius strip, basically, right?
Oh, okay.
That's what the lines are showing is the Mobius nature of it.
Okay, I'll believe you.
I think
It looks like it has like, I don't know, it could be a strip. Yeah, I don't know, it could be.
I don't think this disc has a hole in the middle, like the ring does.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
And then the other 3 had the small plaques of what had once been amber with the sleeping woman worked on it. Yeah, and those copies had worked better than copying the more complicated one that she's using, that anyone can use without a flow of spirit, basically. Anyone who can't channel can enter the TAVERN with, right?
Right. And we have to assume that that Elaine has opened the door for the use of these Terangrial as well. I'm getting the assumption that she's kind of the one who's doing these testings and saying whether something's cool or not as far as the Dreamland, you know.
Well, she's copying them, so presumably she tests them when she does.
Correct.
At risk of stilling herself or burning herself out, right?
Yeah.
So they come in talking over their head. There's some stupid Aes Sedai bitchy banter.
Always. Well, and Swan and Leanne are pretending to hate each other.
Something just kind of interesting, you know, about the Aes Sedai and the wise women facing off against one another, each suspicious of what the other one wanted, neither willing to yield an inch or bow her neck a hair. Classic. There's this little parallel with them wanting to use Elaine as the queen in waiting, that since we just read book 10 feels very much like a parallel with how Moiraine was afraid of being used. There's very much like the same feel about Elaine's thoughts about it, hearing them talk about her in the third person. Thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, because they both are potential heirs to the throne that are both within the White Tower.
White Tower, yeah, and they're way afraid of being used.
Right? Yeah. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's certainly a parallel there. Parallelogram.
Parallel.
Oh.
There's the stuff bit about the danger of Tel'aran'rhiod, like in the Aes Sedai not really believing about these, you know, thinking that they know more than Elaine.
Thanks, Mac. MMDJ.
Hey, we'll get back to that guy. Seriously.
I like this. I like this. I like that green man. It's like the go walk. It's like, yeah, go walk, right?
Or it's the Sasquatch like getting caught on camera.
Oh, that might be it.
Oh, he's doing the. It's like
It's like ho. Mannix, DJ.
All right, tell us what kind of music you do and where we can and put some links in the chat.
Yeah. Actually, maybe let's play his music during our break, right?
if he gives us permission.
Yeah. I would love it.
Right.
Sorry, Josh.
No, you're good. All good. I do love that they have like a cook come in and she's wearing a green fringe shawl with the flame of Tarvalon, like acting like an Aes Sedai in her dreams. And they all get kind of like irked about it.
They kind of talk shit. They're like,
yeah. Of course, that's what she thinks of herself as. Just this bit about remembering that it is a dream. That if she would remember, she would only remember it as a dream. And they're like, oh.
Josh, you imagine though she getting sent to the Mistress of Novices because someone spied on her dream, or she just stumbled in and it's like, hey, go to the Mistress of Novices just to learn some humility in your dream.
Dreams. Yeah.
Wow. That's a controlling. It's like Scientology right there, Ryan.
Everything is like Scientology.
Yeah,
All roads lead. Have you been audited lately, Dan? I feel like you're a little cranky.
Ryan, you're seeming like a really negative person.
No, I just passed my audit. I'm flying high.
Are you?
I'm 7.7.
Super negatory, Ryan.
No. Well, double negatory back. Two double negatives make a quadruple positive, which is what I am. I'm 5 steps from Xenu. Let's go.
Right. Where is that guy's wife anyways, right?
What?
Oh,
I don't know.
The leader's wife has been missing for like 5 years. No one's seen her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. She's on the lam.
David Gavinci or something. His wife. No, like she's been maybe killed. No one knows. No one knows. What? Oh, I gotta change my name. I was messing around.
I like it, Brother Jordan Khan.
No, that's good. Jordan Khan.
All right, I'll leave it then.
Can you put brother?
There's this little
Yeah. Go on, Josh. Sorry.
There's this little precursor to the nightmare that they see later about like, oh yeah, there's nightmares in here. They kind of stick around. They're kind of dangerous. They don't really believe her, and then they get shoved into one later. I like this bit about the whether it's unclear whether Tel'aran'rhiod moved around them or they moved through it.
Right. That's it. Okay. What do you think? They don't have a feeling of movement, but they have a nauseous feeling when they kind of
come out of it, right?
Yeah. But we did have Perrin
does
chasing.
Does the fish know if it's wet?
Well,
but we had Perrin chasing 10,000 steps to the step or whatever, right? Like long distance, like a giant striding across the continent, right?
So what do you think? Do you think they just bend the
I think
will,
it's about perception. I think it's just whatever your perception. If you think you have to move through it like Perrin, then you do. If you think you can transverse it without thought, then you do. Because we've seen Elaine, when she jumped to the boar hunting scene, or sorry, Egwene when she jumped to the boar hunting scene with when she met the Dreamwalkers, she just kind of like boom, right? And we see Elaine do that again into the Andor, right? Into the throne room in Andor at the end of the chapter.
Right.
So,
we also saw Nynaeve do it when she's like need, and she ended up at the Two Rivers.
Right. So both are true. Neither are true. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
There's this little reference to Atlantis. The stone had been salvaged from a nameless city submerged in the Sea of Storms during the breaking of the world, and no one had ever found its likes elsewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Felt very Atlantis-y. I don't know. It's
cool.
the stone of the pearly stone framing the tall arched windows that led onto the balcony of the Amarlov's private study.
Let's talk about the foretelling that we see.
That's like a next kind of thing. Yep.
So while they're rummaging through all her shit, just being just raccoons, what do we?
She dreams herself into Tel'aran'rhiod briefly and talks about a foretelling she had of ruling the tower.
Okay, so that's what it was. So it says, "quote as
reuniting the tower."
She intoned, "The White Tower will be reunited under me. Under me," she pointed harshly to the floor. "Kneel and ask forgiveness of your sins." With that, she was gone. So, so this was just her dreaming, or was it? What do we make of this foretelling, I guess? Is it bullshit?
Can it be a foretelling and be bullshit?
No. I think those are. I think they're
Oxymoronical?
antithetical.
They're oxymoronical?
No, antithetical. I think
Parenthetical?
they're the opposites.
Yeah. All right.
I don't think a prophecy can be bullshit. I think you can say that it's bullshit. Oh, I hate this prophecy. It's bullshit, but it's correct.
Well, it's not necessarily prophecy if it's a foretelling, right?
Yeah, or foretelling, yeah.
But I mean, there are some indications that. I mean, I'm guessing this is a little foretelling of itself in the novel, right? I mean, this is a meta foretelling, and they talk in later chapters. We do get into a little bit about the, what it would look like for them to reunite under her. And we find out that, Baron and Alana don't even know about where the blues are, right? They're not blues, or whatever, the rebel Aes Sedai. So it doesn't mean that she ends up ruling them afterwards, but she might be the one to reunite them.
It does say the White Tower
this
will be reunited under me. That's all the foretelling says.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean I will continue to reign after it's reunited, or I will continue to be the Amerlin afterwards, right?
Correct.
And the stole doesn't have blue on it, so that seems to indicate that it's not a very good reuniting if that's the case.
That's a good point too. She's like, it's reunited, but she's eschewed all blue from her life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then Sheriam suddenly has her blue stole on. She's like,
right.
And Anaya.
So yeah, we go through the papers.
Did you find anything interesting in the papers?
What
What do you think of Matt? So there's Matt and Stepanos.
Oh yeah, this comes up again when we go to the White Cloak leader, right?
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, I had a hard time with that chapter. I mean, I really dislike him. Yeah, and it was just very like a lot of names of places and like people and stuff. I'm not really good with that, tracking that kind of shit. So
You've been doing great so far,
yeah,
buddy.
You're way better than everyone ever, John, by the way. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, if you...
Josh read the Bible once, and like scholars are like, hey, what was that guy's name again?
But, I mean, yeah, so I don't... Stepanos, where was he from again? Terabon? Is that right?
No, he is from fucking... Oh God.
We'll get to it eventually, but
Amadisia?
Amadisia. I think you're right.
He's Amadisia or Altara, I think. One of those.
Okay.
Altara, maybe. Anyways,
what section is that bit in?
That's in the southwest. It's pretty much just south of the two rivers.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I meant in the where we get his name in this chapter.
It says Morale finds a report from Danelle, and it says she says that Matem Stepanos accepts wholeheartedly. Rodrin is still trying to take every side, while Aleandra and Tylan want more time to consider their answers. There's a note here in Elida's hand.
Oh, here it is. Yeah.
We don't necessarily know what it's in regard to.
Right, and we know, and Pedro Niel knows that Matt and Stepanos has been cohorting with the White Tower, too, right?
Yes.
Here's a report from Danelle. And Stepanos accepts wholeheartedly. Yeah, it's hard to know what all is going on in this bit for me. It's like, yes, there's information here, but how do we make use of it and like
Right. Okay. Yeah, we hear him twice in these 5 chapters, so that's why I thought I'd say why are we hearing this guy now?
Mountain Stephanus was king of Ilion and Rodrian of Murndi, while Alejandra was queen of Gildan and Tylan of Altara. So
it looks like they send emissaries to Ilion, to Altara, and we hear that there's emissaries that even went to that are sent to Celadar.
To Celadar, right? Yeah.
And they're like, what? They know where we're at? What?
What?
No way.
Hey, Brother Dan, I want to interrupt everything and just pop this banner up. And why don't you tell everyone what this is all about?
Okay. Yes. Thank you. So we've started a fundraiser for our good friend and mod here, Nanowzrd. A tornado hit her house in Texas. Tore off the roof, punctured a tree limb, went through her kitchen wall, broke her cabinets. There's damage. There's gnarly damage. We're starting to GoFundMe here. The generosity of this community has been outrageous. I had just set an arbitrary number saying, all right, no one will get to this. We'll put 5,000, and 5,000 got hit within 24 hours. So we raised the limit. Because we're trying to milk anything, it's because the it can be used. The damage is extensive, and it's the whole community there anyway. So if we're gonna give money, let's give it to Danaloo. There's trees all over the place that are knocked down. That stuff is expensive to get rid of. It's hard work, and we're just here to help. We're just here to help one of our own. Get some new thatch. When the 2 rivers got
tile roofs, Dan. Tile roofs, Dan.
What tile? This is the best Phantom. You are correct, Danilo. We're just here to pick up one of our own who stumbled, and this is acts of God. This is a bubble of evil. This is TAVERN stuff, and this is what stout 2 Rivers folk do: is we pick up someone who is in need. And so this is what we're doing. And in fact, this coming week, we're going to be doing a little fundraising thing with TWATcast as well, where we're going to combine forces and try to make this as pain-free as possible for Danaloo and her family.
Well said, Dan. Well said.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah.
So they pretty much rifle through all the shit. That's about it.
So I think couple more little quick things. Elida's building herself a palace. Classic.
A classic, right?
Yep.
She demoted an Ace Sedai, which has never been done before, or at least is a very unusual punishment. Usually penance are being cast out, right? And Shimmerin ran off.
How does the demotion work? Do they take the oath rod off of you?
I doubt it.
Yeah.
We get this reference to Swan in New Spring being the first time that in the history of a tower a network of agents was run by someone who wasn't a full sister. Kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
Little forward reference. The stools being gone from Elida's study is fitting because we know that she's not listening to anyone anymore. Kind of a cool symbol for that.
Right. She also has ordered Elaine to be brought to her and said that the ruling house of Andor was the key.
Right. So another sister who wants to use her.
There's reports of Morghese raising an army under the banner of Mandarb.
Right. And also cohorting with Pedro Nial. So.
But that the Manetheren thing is actually just Perrin, and she doesn't have it. So this is fun to hear, like the telephone gossip game, where like you whisper they've raised the red flag of Manethrin, and suddenly it's Morghese has done it. You know,
What is in her kingdom?
true.
There's this reference to the bubbles of evil. Village is taken by madness, nightmares walking in daylight, two-headed calves that talked, shadow spawn appearing out of thin air. Kind of cool. We get a couple references to the bubbles of evil in these chapters.
Are they well-shaped two-headed calves?
Two-headed.
Well turned.
Yes, well turned.
Well turned. That's what. Dang it! Well done, Ryan. Shit.
Oh, nice. Oh, this is great to see here. Definitely, yeah. She's only getting the best in Thatch
Yeah.
that money could buy.
Bowie and Sons.
All right, back to what we were talking about earlier. Mauricio asks, is there any indication Elida has the authority in law to demote an Aes Sedai?
I don't think Elida gives a fuck about the law. She already stilled Swan with no, and Leanne with no precursor.
Yeah.
No proper court battle. So yeah, she is the law. She's
Well, I
martial
guess
law.
that is a good question, though. Did the White Tower not support her, do you think? I mean, let's look at Leanne and Swan. They were actively going against White Tower policy. They were, they were impeached.
Were they? They had been asked by a previous, Amerlin to do a thing. And they spent 30 years or 20 years doing that thing. Is that wrong?
Well, let's say that like Reagan told Joe Biden in 1981 to do something, and then now he's president, and he's doing the thing. Yeah, he's doing the thing. I mean, is that okay? Now that he's in power, that he's doing the thing that's all secret and fucked up? Selling arms? It's okay. No, never mind.
There's so much. So much.
But I mean, that's kind of where we're at, right? Let's just say that like a senator was given something like 40 years ago. Now he's president.
Brother Dan, there's the famous Aiel Contra scandal.
Yeah. Yes.
There's a Saldinistas
with Emmanuel Noriega.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway,
well, I gotta say, and also a new name. I don't know. I love seeing new names, new faces.
Sean was here last week.
Oh, I was not here last week. Okay,
yes.
Hey buddy, what's up? I'm challenged on how to just kind of abbreviate it. Am I going Ashier?
Ace Deuce.
No. His name's too cool to just go acronyms. I need Asha.
I like it, man.
I know. I think I'm just gonna. He might be the only person in chat that
doesn't get the
short word. Yeah. Just fucking coming in badass with that name.
That is a good name. So we
learned there's 1,000 Aes Sedai total.
Right.
Finally.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of cool.
Like on the nose.
Exactly.
294 in the tower, which is nearly 1/3. Almost as many had gathered in Saladar. The rest could be expected to be split down the middle. So, I mean, we don't know exactly, but...
So it's basically like the Senate. It's split
900 and 1,000.
Off like the U.S. Senate. Right? Aren't there 100?
What? Senates? Yes. Senators, right. There's 100.
House is bigger, but yeah.
212, I think. So, yeah, Elaine pretty much is like, all right, there's the tower has 1/3 of them. The rebels have 1/3. And the other two, hopefully, or the other 1/3 is hopefully going to just split between equally. But there is a delegation from the White Tower that's been sent to Rand.
Mm-hmm. All right, next big thing is the nightmare.
The nightmare. Yeah.
Don't even really need to talk about it. I mean, it's it's cool that Elaine she's a badass. I mean, she's got a lot of courage.
Yeah, they jump in voluntarily.
They go in on their own and deny its reality, basically, with their convince the rest of them to do it.
But these Aes Sedai get fucked up. Man, they get
fucked up.
It's like a torture scene in there. Suddenly there's someone who's like dripping upside down, slowly going into a boiling pot of oil, boiling oil. Someone's being like torn limb from limb. Someone's getting whipped with metal tipped spears. It's just gnarly. And as soon as Elaine slips in,
or some people we know is a Good Friday night for some people we know.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, I mean that costs some
mostly
money.
people in Washington D.C. who are members of the House or sorry.
That's called the extra anchovies pizza. Is that what? Right? What?
I don't know. Right over my head. You bukkakied right over my head, Dan.
Link. I'll send you a QAnon link. It's
perfect.
Yeah, so the nightmare's pretty rad. I thought it was pretty rad.
Yeah, I mean, nothing really to discuss other than Elaine being a badass and them using their minds to deny the reality of it, which is important. I mean, and something that we saw kind of like Moiraine do in the testing of becoming an Aes Sedai. I felt like there was a lot of... It felt very similar to what you go through to become a full sister, in a way. So it's funny that the Aes Sedai who were stuck in it weren't able to do it, if that is the case. And Elaine was, who's not even a full sister yet. But understands Tel'aran'rhiod way better, right?
Yeah, the logistics of it. She's like, you can't fight it. You're just accepting it more and more. You just have to say, it's not real, kind of thing. And she's like, yeah, once they linked, man, they didn't have a chance. they were in it full throttle. But they all leave the nightmare. They find everyone's kind of fucked up though. And it is like there's welts and blood and gross. They got fucked up.
Yeah.
They're like, all right. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
They're like, all right, let's go. I'll go back to our rooms
get
now.
healed. Mm-hmm.
And Elaine's like, yeah, I'll be right there. And she bolts off to Andor, to Caemlyn, to the palace. It looks a little different because there's a different chair. Look at that. It's not the Iron Throne, or not the Iron Throne. It's not the Iron Throne. It's a gosh darn gaudy dragon chair. Gross, barf. She says, quote, "It will be done." She stretched a hand up toward the lion throne to swear as queens had sworn since there was an Andor. The pedestal was too high for her to reach, but the intent should count. It will be done. And then she goes back, and Damodred was like watching her.
Right.
Are there any like current modern throne usages? Do people sit on thrones anymore?
Oh, you're goddamn right.
In countries with monarchies, sure.
Toilet.
But like, huh? Who?
Every day on the toilet, he said.
Toilet. Toilet's a throne.
You mean like Trump's golden throne? No, for real though. Like real life, like gaudy ass, like big ass thrones where everyone has to walk up. I guarantee
you that when
British monarchy
King Charles is coronated, he's gonna sit his ass on a big golden chair.
I think that's the last remaining throne.
I bet you that there's all kinds of kings.
No, nowadays, like think about it. When like leaders of countries get together and they do their little photo shoots and they do their fake talks, they're sitting on little tiny chairs. It's all about being bigger than the chair. That's the optics of leadership now. You don't want to look small with a big ass chair behind you. You want to look big, so they put these tiny ass chairs and they sit there and they lumber over each other.
Is that why when at the latest NATO convention they all had little kindergarten
Yes, yes, and they're so they look like Lilliputians. They're like giants among
Lilliputians.
Lilliputians.
Are up to your elbows.
It's all like Hagrid style, like optics, make everything look big. They make them look bigger.
They're titans of industry, Ryan. So why not be literal titans, right?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, anyways, I just was thinking about that. Thrones, so passe.
I imagine there's still quite a few pretty sweet thrones in this world. I think it's hard to get rid of the monarchy, like the idea. There's all kinds of kings, even if they're in queens, even if they're not kings and queens. I bet you the Philippines, they don't even they have a prime minister, and I bet you they have a throne. Man, thrones equal power. Come on.
There are 43 current monarchies.
I know, but are they on thrones?
Yes, they have thrones. Absolutely.
MrHowley says Norway has a throne.
Well, fuck Norway.
Asham says Netherlands has a queen.
Fuck Netherlands. Sorry.
Belgium has a king. Belize has a king.
Ryan,
Bhutan has a king. Cambodia has a king.
See, Cambodia has a throne. No doubt.
Denmark has a queen. Jamaica, technically. I'm sure Jamaica has a throne.
Oh, I bet it's... Okay, I'd be down with the Jamaican throne. Of all the thrones, I want to sit on a Jamaican.
Liechtenstein, Luxembourg. Yeah, Norway, Oman, Qatar. Oh, I'm sure the throne in fucking Oman and Qatar are both badass too. Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
I know. What's funny is he's not even looking this stuff up.
He's just thinking.
That's like, just how he thinks.
Thailand.
Normal people look up and they're trying to remember things. Josh looks down as if he's typing, but he's not.
And he did it. His brain works alphabetically too. It's really crazy.
Yeah. There's no way I was reading a list there from Wikipedia. Absolutely not.
Is there anything else we want to talk about this Elaine chapter?
Nope.
Okay, well, let's
move on to the terrible Nynaeve chapter.
Yeah, terrible Nynaeve chapter. Nynaeve is just a grump, and this is just Nynaeve in full grump mode.
Yeah.
But yeah, not only grump mode though, but like we learned something deep about her.
Talk to me.
When she learns about Moiraine's death, her first thought was like, "Woohoo!"
Yes.
Yeah, I get land finally.
Well, you gotta give it to her. Like, few people can even admit that to themselves.
Right.
Like, she's at least honest about that.
Right,
Andrew coming in strong, baby.
Well, because he came to your defense. Taylor was like, someone needs to put him in the corner.
Andrew, is there a throne where you live?
Grump Nye.
I hate Grump Nynaeve, man. Grumpney.
So much metaphorical pulling of metaphorical braids. Yeah, she is. I mean, she does feel shame though about the whole thing. She's like, yeah.
Yeah, but it only fuels her fucking fire. It doesn't. It's not like that's just the pyre on which she burns her bitchiness. Like,
yeah.
It's like Michael Jordan just like invents like things in his head to make him a better like competitor. He creates conflict and just grievances that he carries around since high school just to be like, I want to be like Mike.
And one.
I mean, the only bits that are kind of interesting here is Logain talking to these, what do you want to call them? Rich people? Aristocrats? Noblemen? Noble folk?
And he's spreading the story of the Red Aja.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Red Aja are the ones who put him in power. They never played him false until they betrayed him in the end.
Do we know that if this is true or not?
We don't, but we know that Pedron Nial hears it too. And the person who he hears it from, he trusts to not accept stuff without it being verified.
Okay.
But it is still Loghain's word against the Reds, basically.
Correct. So yeah, we see Loghain is spreading the word, the gossip about how bad the Reds are in the White Tower.
Mm-hmm.
And Gareth Bryn is chomping at the bit. He's like, "I'm here for war, bitches." He's like, quote, "You tell Sharon she might as well stop avoiding me. What can be done here has been done. Tell her a wolfhound kept in a cage might as well be a pig when the wolves come. I didn't gather these men to be sold at market." He's all, "Bring me war! I'm here for war!" Let's see. What's her name? There's a. I should I watch that. Lalaine.
Yeah,
Jack Lalaine
surprises her.
Didn't he die jogging?
Did he? I think he's still alive.
The workout dude, right? Jack.
Yeah,
Lalaine?
he's still alive.
He died jogging.
No, I saw him at
Jack Lalaine Con.
No, I saw him at
Lalaine Con.
I went to BFJ's, and he was there. He was doing push-ups.
Nope.
He's a little guy, and he got on one of those big horses that are out front, and he looked just like a jockey, and he was like, "Yeah." It was fun. I'm all, "That's Jack Lalaine."
Is that a tiny boy? No, is that a tiny man?
No,
yes.
No, that's
Jack
Jack
Lalaine.
Yeah, the Nynaeve is pissed because what's her name? Lalaine's like, "Hey, you know what? You should cut your hair. You look really cute with that." And she's like, "Fuck you! I do not want this."
No, you look really cute like that. It's that you would not reveal that you're an angry little, you know what?
Right.
You give yourself away in your frustration, and you Aes Sedai take it as you being a pighead.
Yeah. She's like, quote, "She had pursued the Black Aja, been captured and escaped, captured one of the Forsaken in turn." Well, none of them knew that. "Helped the Panar of Terabon regain her throne, however, briefly, and now all she did was sit and take credit for what she could shake loose from Moghedien. Cut her hair? She might as well shave herself bald for all the good it would do."
Mm-hmm.
Because she's like, "We're just sitting on our asses. This is dumb." Uno gives her like this grin, like, "Hey, baby, anytime you want to leave, you let me know."
Well, there's this bit about no stilling in 140 years, no one having burned themselves out in 12.
Mm-hmm.
The Yellows are kind of the most resistant against her healing people who have been stilled, probably because they don't want to be shown up as after saying that it can't be done.
Right.
There's this funny bit about her thinking she could control Tom and Julian, forgetting that Tom and Julian had been told to help them by Moiraine, and that's who they were deferring to. So I thought that was kind of funny.
Right.
Like, she's like totally lost that part of the story, right?
Well, yeah, now that Moiraine's dead.
Thinks that she's their controller, basically.
Mm-hmm. That's funny. Theodorin is talking to Nynaeve about her block.
Yeah, Theodorin, who also was blocked and was a wilder, right?
But her block was like the best block ever.
Yeah, it was.
And her trick. Well,
there are these.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Sorry.
Her trick was that she could have any man. She can make boys want to kiss her or not kiss her.
Mm-hmm.
But her block was men as well. She couldn't channel unless there was like a man who she either really strongly liked or really strongly hated, like right in the area. And so there was this one guy who she really hated that was in the area, and they did the old switcheroo with his twin sister.
Uh-huh.
And when she took off her coat and shirt, showed her boobies in the middle of the lesson, Theodorin fainted. It says, but, quote, after that, I could channel whenever I wanted. So I don't know how you would equate that to Nynaeve, like just how based on this, how would you get rid of Nynaeve's block? Show some boobies?
Well, her block is about being mad that someone was going to die and that her herb knowledge wouldn't be enough, and then she could heal them. Oh, wait, I don't know if they promised to obey Nynaeve at some point. Possibly.
Oh, they may have, like, around.
It's something that she probably demanded from them, and they gave just to keep her appeased. Would be my guess, but yeah, that is what it is.
That's a good point too.
There is this funny parallel though between oh damn it, I lost it. Nynaeve's avoidance of Nynaeve's avoidance of working with Theodrin and her own condescension towards Swan and Leanne and what's his name? The man?
Logain?
Oh, right. Not so much Logain, but Swan and Leanne's avoidance of coming to work with her to be studied for the healing. It's just, again, this kind of like the thing that you dislike the most about other people is something that you yourself do, right? Like,
right. And in fact,
Jungian projection theory. Are we getting there? Are we going there, buddy?
Yeah. I mean, to your point, both of your point, because Theodrin is like, let me help you with your block, which theoretically Nynaeve is doing the same. It's just a heavier block,
right?
Called stilling.
And then Nynaeve says that the reason she resists is because it's disheartening to try and fail. Which, if she just had a little empathy and could turn that lens around and look at Swan and Leanne through it, she would see that it's probably the same for them, but even more amplified, right? Because they're trying to move on through their life to this thing that no one even knows can be fixed. And here's Nynaeve talking to someone who has fixed the very fucking thing that she has a problem with, and she still can't be brought to believe it.
Right.
So it's like, come on, fucking wake up. Like, have a little empathy and like orient yourself towards other individuals. Like, the world's not all about you, right?
Well, I mean,
well, it is for Nynaeve, but
yeah, when you're on the wisdom of 13 or whatever, I guess.
Right.
Hey, can we have someone throw up the Discord link into chat?
Barf.
Let's get that party going.
Oh, I think
Elaine just
not too long ago.
Nynaeve just shits on everyone too. Elaine gives her a proud smile of her teaching the students, and Nynaeve just shakes her head and walks away. Like,
right. Right. Well, and what is, I guess it ends also with Nynaeve feeling wind or feeling weather that's not really there. It
right.
Says, Nynaeve rubbed her arms irritably, as if she would rub her arms.
Well, that's what the storm gathering is, right? It's like, but it's also a metaphor, I imagine, for the White Cloaks. All the things that are approaching. What's the name of the town that they're in again? I'm sorry, I've lost it.
Saladar?
Saladar, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Somi.
So yeah, we get Mogideon. We learn there's an emissary from the tower. Oh, right. Is that the storm that's gathering? Is the emissary from Elida that arrives in Saladar? Maybe?
There is an emissary that arrives, led by a red named Tarna.
And that's the girl. That's the person who Nynaeve saw, who is being ushered in by the warder, right?
Mm-hmm.
Detecting and learning how to detect a man channeling. Kind of interesting. It uses all 5 powers. Okay. That's all I got.
By the way, doesn't Elaine ever knock?
No, she just bursts right in.
No. She's like Kramer.
She's Kramer.
She's still like Kramer.
Jerry. And
that was not Kramer's voice. That was
I know what was
the
that?
mailman's voice. Yeah, Neiman. Thank you. Neiman's
Jerry.
voice.
Jerry. Is that better?
Hello, Jerry.
Mogideon is just a washing fool too. I mean, that's all.
Totally. My hands are ruined.
So I had thought that she had to. I guess the what she has, the terangrial that she has, doesn't have a link, right? It's just a collar and a bracelet, and it's an invisible chain link. Because she's going out and doing laundry, and she's doing all this stuff, and I mean, does she have is she still wearing the collar though, right? Or
right.
what?
Right.
Okay.
But I think we learn it in a previous book that the chain is just symbolic. Or they theorize that the chain is symbolic at least. And then they prove it out here.
Right. So I guess, I just wasn't quite sure that this one was the Wi-Fi
version of it. Yeah, this is the Bluetooth version of the collar.
They're also asking Mogideon to teach them how to detect a man channeling. And they try a few times, and all they do is get like these splitting headaches, right?
Mm-hmm. The longer you do it, anyways, yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'll point that out. But is that do you think that they'll figure that out?
Yes.
Okay. Right on.
I mean, they have to, I think, eventually.
Well, let's just be like Elaine and just barge right into this next chapter.
Yeah, this next one is pretty fast, I feel like.
Look at you, Dan.
Kramer right into this shit.
Chapter 9, plans.
I have a lot less underlined in this one. There's still a lot of... I don't know, that's not exactly true.
Thanks, right? Plans, I would say, is maybe the third best Death Cab for Cutie album.
Then what are the first and second?
Transatlanticism?
Yeah.
And we have the facts, and we're voting yes. Not bad?
I think I agree with that, Liz.
Thank you.
This is the new year.
It is the sublime sun tattoo of the White Cloaks. And we, so Pedro Nile, it's just Pedro Nile.
I imagine Pedro Nile has that sun tattooed around his belly button.
Yep. He says, "Light for life." He's talking to his spy master, or
his surface spy master, anyways.
Supposed spy master, Abdul Ornerna. Abdul Ornerna. Omerna. And Omerna knows nothing. Omerna knows shit. Everything he knows is wrong.
Everything you know is wrong. No means no.
Because he believed everything. What a spy master is supposed to do is just not believe anything. But he's a decoy. Bum, bum, bum. Here comes Bauer. What? Little Bauer? Little nerdy, twisted Secretary Bauer? He's the guy? Guess what? Yep, he's the guy. He's like Pedro Niel's Alfred. And Bauer's like, when I was in World War One, Master Bruce, I shaved 50 people with a tiny little screwdriver. That's my Michael Caine. Thank you.
Pretty good.
There's just this one is kind of heavy on the info dump kind of stuff.
Let's see.
Liability of what they know and what they hear and what they believe, I guess.
Yeah, Niall was always at his most dangerous when he was outnumbered with his back to the wall. Like a rabid dog.
He's a
too small of a puppy, scrappy puppy. Yeah. So, talk out for me. The dragon sworn that Pedro Niall has been talking about. Are these plants? Whoa. Back. Yeah, it's probably gonna help you feel better, Ryan, to not have your puppet hand up. Oh wait, your puppet hand is just somewhere else now.
Yeah. I can't hear you.
Hey guys, no, I just changed the camera. Nothing's different.
Nothing's different at all.
Yeah,
it's just a different camera.
Nothing different.
Like the Swedish chef over there.
This is like when you saw like the Simpsons turn 3D.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
During that Treehouse of Horrors.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can last like 10 more minutes and I'll probably change back the camera back, but this is fun.
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
So are the dragons sworn that Pedro Niall always talks about, are they actually white cloaks without their cloaks in disguise? Or are they dragons sworn that they're prodding into doing things? I've not been able to like crystallize exactly what's going on with this.
Okay. The dragons sworn are causing all kinds of shit near where they're at.
But Patron Niall says this. He says,
or Altara.
Perhaps it was time to extend the dragon sworn into Andor. Perhaps Ilion as well. So does that mean by opening the white cloaks who are guarding the borders, allowing them through?
Is it?
He talks about this dragon sworn as if he owns them or controls them, which maybe is just his fucked up delusion, or his way of using them. But I have not been able to like solidify in my mind what this means, and it's been bugging me.
I don't want to give you answers. I will say that that the dragon sworn seem to be a force of unrest.
Mm-hmm.
And chaos per se, that he may think that, well, if these other countries are dealing with this, or even this country here is having to deal with this, then we will be able to actually do what we need to do or something.
Sure.
I don't know. Oh no, hold on. Oh no.
What's
I don't know what just happened.
I don't know what's happening at all. Is it
okay.
a bubble? Are we having a bubble?
Bubble of evil?
Bubble of evil. A BE.
Oh no.
Yeah, take us through your notes, Josh, while we're waiting. No one cares what we think anyways.
Got that part. There's this little bit about the cipher from Niel's agents, which I thought was kind of cool that he can just read it. Like it's his own personal language. We get this bit about the a wild, disjointed ramble about men riding strange beasts and flying creatures, Aes Sedai on leashes and the Haleen. This is about the San Chen in
Right.
in the thing that precluded the thing that the painting is of, the battle where Rand appeared in the sky. And then let's see. They mentioned the Sea Folk ships, which we talked about last week, and kind of wondered about what was going on with that. They're not taking cargo and they're not sailing. They're just there for some reason. And this reminded me that in the prologue, I think it was, to book 5, we get this bit about the like hand of the ruler, the highest woman below the ruler in the San Chen, being on a sea folk island, and that the San Chen had basically retreated after the battle with Rand to this sea folk island, and we're like regrouping there.
Yeah.
Is that right?
That's what I think.
Was that the prologue to book 5? Book 4 even? Book 3? It was a few books ago, and I remember reading it and being like, uh-oh, are we going to get a bunch more San Chen? Dan, are you unmuted?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Anyhow, it made me wonder if the San Chen are actually on these sea folk ships rather than it being sea folk. Although Matt did see a wave. What do they call? Wind. Maiden?
A windfinder.
Windfinder on on board one of them, which makes me wonder. I
like, what is the relationship between the sea folk and San Chen?
Well, if the San Chen came to that island and just took them over, then they could be using their vessels for infiltrating Randland without them knowing, right?
Okay, so you think it's more like a relationship of domination?
I think they came in and conquered. Yeah, it sounded like the woman. God, I wish I could remember what her title was. I forget her title, but whoever she was the one who killed the dude who was ruling in the mainland before the battle happened. And she's the one who's obsessed with, like, not the Black Hands, but becoming like the most important person to the queen of the San Chen.
High Lady Sarath?
Thank you. High Lady Sarath, right. We get this scene with High Lady Sarath on the Sea Folk Island, basically like ruling over it. Right? So yeah, this just got me thinking about, okay, the San Chen could be invading Randland using the Sea Folk ships.
Yeah, Dan Liu, you're right. Trojan ship.
Totally.
Nice.
Well, Pedro Nial doesn't believe any of this shit. He's like, oh, this guy's had a fever dream. There's no way that there's flying beasts and there's, all this stuff.
Oh, that guy. Yeah. Right.
He
So
was
then we
the-
get to the 4 points that Balwer makes. The Ogier are meeting in the steading, and they're showing haste, which is unusual for them. Seafolk ships in the southern ports not taking cargo, not sailing. Unknown what they're waiting for. Althor has been reported in Camelin. 3. Althor has been in Camelin, Ter, and Karhine, sometimes on the same day, reliably. 4. 2 sources in Altara, reliable sources that witches in Saladar claim the Red Aja encouraged Loghain to become a false dragon, all but created them, in fact. They have Loghain at Saladar, or a man they say is Loghain, and are showing him the nobles they bring there.
Which we've seen.
We know that that's true.
Mm-hmm.
The tower is broken. We get this little, like, in thought about the tower being broken, and whether he was wrong or right about that, and whether or not it even matters. And in the end, he decides it doesn't matter whether I was wrong or right. I can use it anyways. And if I was wrong, and it is true, then what does that mean, right? So they come up with this story about the Black Aja rising up. Hilariously, it's true. And that the victors hold the tower and the losers were driven out. However, he has it backwards, right? It's not those in Saladar who are the Black Aja, although they probably are infiltrated. It's actually the tower. Because we know the white Aja, who's the keeper of records, is a Black Aja.
Yep.
So they come up with this mythology to tell, which I love. Let's see, 4 rumors. The first, the division of the tower is caused by a Black Aja uprising. Second, that the Black Aja 1 control the tower now. Third, the Aes Sedai and Saladar, repelled and horrified, are renouncing being Aes Sedai. And the fourth, they have approached you seeking mercy and protection. Oh, so they do have it right. The Black Aja 1 and control the tower. Okay. Approach you seeking mercy and protection. Find Elaine. So now we know that who all is looking for Elaine? Rand, the White Cloaks, Elida, her mom. I mean, everybody wants some of Elaine.
Elaine's mom has got it going on.
And Rand's just jumping all over the land. He's like,
right.
I'm in Andor, I'm in Kyrian, I'm in here, Ilion.
And then there's this bit about more gates.
He's playing whack-a-mole.
Whack-a-mole, totally.
Yeah.
This is a drinking obligation.
Oh, finally!
Finally.
I could have Andor raised against Althor today with a thick leavening of children to stiffen it.
Yeah, everyone drink!
Yes. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Kay.
We have fun.
All right, so let's see. Then we go to Morghese. She's falconing.
She's falconing.
Who doesn't love that?
I'm watching a falcon take down a duck. Oh, how lovely was that?
All 3 of my children and myself were outside. We were like playing out on the driveway, and we look over, and a hawk swoops down into our chicken pen and just eats the fucking brain out of one of the chickens, like while we're all watching.
Oh no!
This happened 2 days ago. It was insane. It was this giant fucking red hawk, just grabbed the chicken's head, literally in one bite, took its entire brain, ate it, and then flew off. It was like seconds, but all 3 of the kids and I were like looking at it as it happened. It was nuts. Yeah. Sorry.
I will occasionally see. So you see hawks like in the sky sometimes. You're like, oh, okay, that's cool. When they come through your yard and come cutting through, like to kill a chicken or whatever, or a rabbit, or Man, these are raptors. These are big ass fast birds that are coming in like low and hot, baby.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Very Tom Cruise movie.
Top Gun.
Thank you. Top Gun Fighters.
Days of Thunder, like Days of Thunder. His other racing movie. Well,
I don't know that one.
Yeah, just basically on car.
Oh, that's the NASCAR one. Okay.
Yeah. He was still feeling the need for speed. Oh, high five, low five.
So Morghese wonders, like the Falcon, is she too proud and too determined to realize when she had latched onto a prize too heavy for her wings to support? Sweet metaphor.
I do
Brother Dan, I noticed you changed your camera pretty quickly, huh?
Yeah.
It's
I'm trying to read stuff on screens. I can't see it.
I saw you like turning your head like this and looking through your eyeball.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. This works better for me. I just don't have your natural charisma, right?
What are you gonna do?
Ryan, when are we going hawking next?
Hawking?
Like
Stephen Hawking, when we go and just quote him on the streets and see if anyone knows what we're saying?
No, I thought, when are we going to be like get in wheelchairs and go to strip clubs?
Oh,
that's called hawking.
Okay. And you wear really, really, really thin pants for the lap dances. I know this. I know your game. Your game.
That's why everyone should have an Adidas tracksuit.
Yeah. No, I understand.
There is a little bit that Morghese. So there's someone who's talking shit to her.
Right. The White Cliff guy. So Galad is a knife to her throat, right? Oh, you're talking about the guy talking shit, like what's his name? Peter Connell?
No, I'm talking actually the woman Miranda.
Miranda.
Says that the Roniel Thor displays the throne like a trophy.
Right.
And then she like mentions all these. So it says, quote, it says that the Althor consorts daily with Andor Noble, and it's Amarella,
these names she doesn't.
Yeah,
people who
like, well, fuck them anyways. I don't like them. I want Pelavar. I want Abel. I want Luan Elarian. She's like, those are the ones that were like my people. So go ahead and take all of Lord Gabriel's.
Right. I mean, the thing is, this made me feel kind of sad. This part of the chapter, because she's being turned on Rand without even knowing him. And Elaine had a little of this too. Like, even though Elaine knows him better, she feared that he was mucking everything up without her being there.
But
Morghese is like truly like thinking that Rand has like taken over her kingdom, not knowing that he's saved it from Gabriel, right? It's like there's no thought of Gabriel here at all, and that maybe what Rand did was necessary, and that maybe he doesn't trust these fuckers either, and that they're the ones who put the throne in place, and he doesn't even sit in it, right? Like,
yeah. What? And then so I got caught off on your pronunciation of Gabriel.
Gabriel?
I was like, okay, wait. What are we talking about? Jabril. Are you talking about Gabriel, who was Ravine, right?
Ravine. Yeah, it's not Gabriel, though. I mean, it's not spelled out the same way, but yes.
All right, you're right. I know, you're right. Hey, you're probably right. My headcanon is strong, though. Look at it. Look at this thing.
It's a large headcanon.
Look at this thing. You think I'm receptive
you could take down
to anything? No.
City walls with that shit.
Attack on Titan.
Let's see. So Yeah, there's this bit about Galad learning that Galad is a white cloak and that that's a knife to her throat that Niall can use to control her. But it's Gon who will be Gawain, who will become the first Prince of the Sword. She kind of like is trying to manipulate back again, playing the game of houses basically in her own way, in the way they do in Camelin. Let's see. There's that bit that Dan was talking about. There's this thing about the refugees, and I wondered if this was some precursing here, basically, of like seeing the refugees like without a place to go. Some of them are maybe Dragonsworn. Others are just like hungry, dusty people with their eyes too big, right? And like, again, thinking that this is something Rand has done to her kingdom and that he needs to be made to pay, right? Again, falling right into Niall's trap, which I hope that she wasn't. But it seems like maybe she is. And that feels kind of bad, right? That's all I had for this, I think.
All right. I don't know where Brother Dan went. I'm assuming
we take a short break, and
that's actually a very good idea. Let's do that.
Let's see, we're at 194, 216, so we've got about 20 pages to go. So not much left. 3 chapters, but wait, 2 chapters, 10, 11, 12, 10 and 11? Okay, yeah. So we'll come back after the break and do that.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. I'll put some music on. Let's just take a short break and we'll be back soon, guys. Alright, cowboys, let's wrangle these horses. I'm plumb tuckered out. All this factificating and pontificating and Joshifications.
Ryan, I wrote a little song based on my internet experience right now. Want to hear it? It goes, AT&T, U-verse, you are the worst. Dun, 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 dun. I want to throw your internet into a purse right into the sea, because AT&T, you can suck my nuts.
I hope you die and I'll put you in a hearse.
Yep. No, that was
first.
it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. AT&T, you can suck my nuts. That was the name of the song.
I like that. Well done.
Thanks.
I love it.
Thanks.
Well done.
That's a great song.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm feeling it. It came from the heart.
All right, so we have
Came from the fiber cable.
We have roughly 20 pages left.
Roughly.
Brother Dan?
Chapter 10. A saying in the Borderlands. It's a dragon icon. Dragon's like one arm down, one arm up. Yeah. So Rand, we're getting the impression that everywhere Rand goes, Rand has the mad entourage. And I was starting to feel a little bad for the guy. I'm like, I need a little...
At least 50 folks in his party, yeah.
At least. You imagine, like, as soon as you wake up, there's, like, people just waiting outside your door. You're like, all right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. All right. Here.
Oh, no! AT&T, suck his nuts. It's the worst in the putts. All right. Yeah. This is not working. Josh, go through your notes. Tell us about chapter 10.
Let's see. Yeah. So he learns the heat trick finally.
Oh, yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. He's noticing everyone able to do it but him.
Right. So
This
he's
whole
not
time
sweating.
he's like,
He's
wow.
finally not sweating.
Yeah, that's great. He was so balmy.
Strange that it's to be so close to the power yet have nothing to do with it at all. Did Aes Sedai do the same? He'd never seen one sweat, had he? So then we get Dail trying to understand wetlander humor, kind of appropriate. He thinks about the two rivers. There's
Josh,
this.
Actually, I wanted to ask you about that. You've spent a lot of time in India, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You've lived there for how many years consecutive at one point?
I didn't. I lived there for a couple summers in a row.
A couple summers. Okay. Did you ever come across that kind of like that cultural divide of humor, where you're like, why the hell is everyone laughing? And even though you understand the language and what's being said, you don't understand why it's funny. Is that ever something you came across?
Not. I never quite got that immersed in it, unfortunately.
Okay.
A little bit, but I can imagine it being true. Although this is even more extreme, I think, than anything in the contemporary real world that we live in.
Yeah.
Because it's like they're like rifts through time and space, and they've been separated. Their cultures have been separated for so long.
Yeah, this would be like finding, like
some tribe and
people in the bush.
The Amazon. Yeah, exactly. Right. Like, so there's this bit about destiny. There's these like whatever Rand bubbles where like people die by catching their kerchief on a door hinge, and like, but also a fucking paper thin vase like bounces down the hallway and doesn't break, right? So one way or another, let's see. duty. Oh, right. This saying, the saying that we get in New Spring from Land: duty is heavier than a mountain, lighter than a feather. Mm-hmm. And then the end of the chapter references back to that, which I thought was cool. The last line of this chapter is, he wondered if the mountain ever got lighter for a time or only kept getting heavier.
Yeah. Nice.
Which it took me a while to be like, what is that referring back to? But then eventually I was like, oh, it's that statement.
Who are your favorite Aiel? Do you like the whole interaction with the maidens?
I like Bale. Bale is awesome. I mean, I like Avienda. They're probably my favorite male and female Aiel. Yeah. What about you?
Ruark, but my impressions come from the whole series. Yeah, but Ruark's one of my favorite, and Bane and Chiad, their whole thing.
I'm back. Sorry, I was saying, what about you? Who are your favorites?
You were frozen? I just thought you were so intently listening that you were just yes.
Oh, I was, Ryan. I was.
I said Ruark and Bane and Chiad are my favorite.
Oh, yeah. Ruark's awesome. Bane and Chiad, good choices also. Hello, Dan.
Hello. I wrote a song.
Gee, you can suck my...
I wrote a new song. Do you want to hear the new song?
Yeah,
Actually, we don't have time for it because I'm only on for 4 minutes before I get bounced off. Ilyena or fucking Luce Theron is yelling about pride a bit in this
throughout
chapter.
This whole chapter. Absolutely, yeah. Pride fills me. I am sick with the pride that destroyed me.
Yeah. So why? Any idea?
A warning to Rand about being too confident.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Was how I interpreted it, but
what? Do you think the world thought of Luce Theron as a proudful man?
Prideful?
When he was alive?
Oh, probably.
Okay.
But I think it was his pride that led him to kill his wife and kids. In its way.
Ooh, interesting.
That's what I think he's referring to, but I might be wrong.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Rand also sees Bodwin.
Mm-hmm.
Bodhi. Or do you say Bode?
I say Bode, but yeah, my head canon, but it could be Bodhi.
Let's say Bode. So hey, Bode. No, I like Bodhi. Hey, Bodhi. There's Bodhi. There's a whole bunch of little Two Rivers girls.
I love that Rand asked the maidens if he could learn the hand signs.
Yeah.
And they were scandalized by that. So yeah, Bodhi tells him about Lord Perrin, the Trolloc invasion, Perrin getting married, etc., etc. Asks about Matt. You have anything else to say about that, Sam?
No, but I mean, except for that, this is proof that there is an exceptional amount of talent in the Two Rivers.
Oh, right. They got they extended. They've never seen a pool of talent like this in one place, basically.
And it's with Varen and Alana. They're the ones that were doing the whole recruitment,
bringing them in.
And so they walk in, and Rand is there.
I love how the tavern owner is the same as every tavern owner we've ever met in Randland. Chubby, balding, not very smart, and too trusting. Right.
Dry washing his hands. Yeah, yes, master. Yes, my lord. Dry washing your hands. And then what do you know? Is subjected to one of the worst things that we see.
Yeah.
It is foolish to treat us as enemies, Alana murmured, moving toward him. You look tired. Are you getting enough rest? He stepped back from her raised hand and she stopped. Like you, Rand, I mean no harm. Nothing I do here will cause you any injury. Since she had said it straight out, it must be so. He nodded and she raised her hand to his head. The skin tingled faintly as she embraced Saidar, and a familiar warm ripple passed through him, the feel of her checking his health. Alana nodded in satisfaction, and suddenly the warmth was heat. One great flash of it, as if he stood for a heartbeat in the middle of a roaring furnace. Even after it passed, he felt odd, aware of himself as he had never been before, aware of Alana. He swayed, headlight, muscles watery. An echo of confusion and unease rang from Lews Theron. What did you do? He demanded in a fury he seasight in. The strength of it helped to hold him upright. What did you do?
Oh.
They tried to shield him, and he's like, fuck you.
Gosh.
He shields Varen and Alana, and Varen's like pretty much like, oh, she bonded you, that's all. He's like, wait, that's all? She's all, yeah, I didn't lie. She's like, in fact, this is the opposite of injury. He's like, fuck you. He's like, fine, you can't, if you stay in Camelin, you can't come in the inner city unless I call you. Leave. Get away. I'm going to throw you in prison if I see you, and I'll shield you.
So, yeah, I mean, the non-consensual bonding, not cool. I mean, this made me angry.
Your text was very angry that you.
Like I said, I felt bad for a man for once in Randland. I don't know that I'd ever have that happen before.
Right.
No, Randland, yeah, because Randland's synonymous with Manland.
Yeah, Manland. I wondered about Davram Bashir here. Does he know his daughter goes by Fail? And did he learn that she is now married to someone in the Two Rivers? This is the first time he's crossed paths with Two Rivers folk. And he's being spoken to by some of them when Rand comes out of the room.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know. I don't know if he has heard the name Fail.
Bode and a handful of the Edmonds fielders were questioning Bashir, who had a pewter mug in his fist and 1 foot up on the bench. Yeah, do they know her as Fail Bashir? If not, it's a narrow fucking miss.
It is a narrow miss for sure. She went by her name is Zareen. She went by Mandarb for a hot minute,
a while, right, and then Zareen
until she took up Fail. So that's a great.
Was Zareen right? Was her real name Fail? Right, yeah. Huh. So I don't know. Did make me wonder about that. And then he wraps the girls up, scares the shit out of them. And you weren't here when I said this, but this last sentence, he wondered whether the mountain had got lighter for a time or if it only kept on getting heavier, is a reference back to that phrase of the of lands of his people. Duty is heavier than the mountain, lighter than a feather.
And he's wondering how much duty until he's just completely buried by a freaking mountain.
Exactly. Or the death comes for him to release him. Rand is the thing I've been really reflecting on during these chapters is like Rand is the quintessential human cosmopolitan human. He's like this amazing blend of like cultures and places and knowledge, right? He's got born of a noble woman turned maiden and an Aiel father, raised by like a Manetherin woman and her where's Tam Althor from? Andor?
Two Rivers, yeah.
I mean, an Andoran father schooled by a Gleeman from and a Aes Sedai from Karhine, like knows the Cody, which is from land people, like the sort. It's just like he's this amazing stew, melting pot, right, of like worldly influences and cultural trends and like precedents.
Very fast. Oh, cool.
Well, let's talk a tiny bit, if you don't mind, about this situation with Rand. He is he's been bonded as a warder.
Yep.
What does this do to his security?
Well, he's got another voice in his head, for one, or another viewer, he feels like. He's becoming more of a multiplicity and less of an individual than he already was.
Interesting. Okay. Is this a weakness now for him? I don't
think so. I think he was stronger than anything. I don't think she knew what she was doing, bonding someone who could channel. None of the other warders can channel. And I think, although he may stay bonded until the last battle, I don't think she can keep him bound through the last battle.
I guess, but we read in the last week, where Semiraj was torturing an Aes Sedai.
Right.
And was torturing...
I see. Could it be a weakness in that direction? Possibly, yeah. I guess if she gets captured and tortured, then he will experience that.
Okay.
They said I should have released the bond to her warder, though. Why didn't she?
That she could, yeah.
I guess she has to pass it off onto someone else, potentially. Like Moraine did with Lan.
Yeah, that's interesting. Can you just sever
let them go? Probably not. You have to pass it on. The other thing I was thinking of is, again, we get this precursing of Elaine thinking about bonding Rand and like being like, no matter what, I'm going to bond him as my warder, as a green. And now another green has him. So that's going to screw up her plans too, right?
All right, so Alana is now linked with Rand as well. Do you think Alana is or will become aware of Lews Therin?
I don't think so. I don't think it's so much about thought as it is about feeling. But she is bonded to someone who can go mad.
Correct.
So how does that work? Like if you are a warder and you go insane prior to your Aes Sedai dying, I'm thinking of Tomas here. What does that do? How does that affect the Aes Sedai? I don't know. A lot of unknowns here. A lot of questions, for sure.
Yeah, is she going to regret this?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I think so. If she doesn't already. She may already.
Will we get a Matt and Bodhi reunion?
Probably. Matt's on his way to Andor, though, so not the direction that she's going.
Okay.
Now, in terms of like magnitude of the situation and the events that are happening and the characters that are doing the doings,
doing the doings,
yeah. Is there any rational like way you could rationalize what Alana did? If she,
no, I think it was highly irrational.
Irrational.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it was an irrational desire. I think it was a desiring machine malfunctioning. I mean, Varen even says something along those lines, right? That like she's so off balance from having had her warder pass that she's hungry for this bonding because she's always had two. Now she's fulfilled that, but is it going to backfire? I think most likely, yes.
Okay. Cool.
So
But
Rand was the
Might take a
rebound?
while. Rand is the rebound Bond. Yes.
Bond?
It's not gonna work. She's like, I don't want to be alone.
Rebond.
Rebond. Oh, that's a good one. Is there anything else about this chapter here before we get into Varen?
No, let's go on to Varen.
Okay, we're ending with chapter 11. It's called The Lessons and Teachers. It has the not the bluebee, it's the upside down whale bluebee, Ryan. It's the like the tornado. Speaking of tornadoes, guys, we have a GoFundMe set up for Dana Lou. So let's call this the Dana Lou icon. Okay.
The Dana Lou icon. Nice.
Yeah. Varen. We don't have very many Varen insights generally. But here we have Varen. She is relieved as hell once Rand leaves. She's like, "Oh my god, this dude is a dangerous guy. He is strong. He's not good." She settles the girls down. Tries to.
And fails multiple times.
Say again?
Tries to and fails multiple times. Yeah.
Multiple times. Yeah. Alana eventually gets all pissed off and is like, enough, and grows up super tall and scares them all. They all run to their room.
I wish Tom was here for this, because this is a callback to Moiraine growing big and stepping over the wall. But I think here we can see that this is Robert Jordan's quote fixed version of it, where we see it through the eyes of another Aes Sedai and it's an illusion.
Yes.
But it like that was not present. It really did happen in the first book.
Yeah, she walked over the wall somehow. Yeah.
Right, which is like a breaking of the rules that later got laid out and defined, as Tom said. So I thought this was kind of cool to see him try to fix it. You know, we know as astute readers that he didn't quite get there because he fucked up, but it is neat to see the attempt and to like recognize it as an integration moment, a moment of integration of the world, the Welton Shalom, the worldview into like the storyline and the physics and like storytelling reuniting, right?
Right, and it all it took in theory is, even if Varen had said, had they been outside, Alana could have even made them think that she jumped over the house.
Right.
Something like that. That is, straight illusion. That it's like, okay, that's then I guess it still fixes, but it doesn't. But if you just address it, you just like are bold faced about it,
right?
And then just fix it. You just address it. Just like all the magical people coming out of Netherite. One of the people mentions it. It brings it out in the open, and it's like, yeah, that's right. You address it, and then it's you don't have to worry about it. It's kind of a non-issue after that. So yeah, I like that. That's a good point, Josh. And Alana is. She doesn't take. She's not a patient person, it seems.
No.
She is impulsive, to say the least. She did lose her warder Owen, so that there is that. And Alana is in the TV show is much different than the Alana that we have here. Just as a side note. She claims that her bonding Rand made sense. It says, quote, it was the logical thing to do with him right there in front of us. You should have been done long ago. You could not or would not Then later she says, they all should have been bonded at the first chance. They are too important to run loose, him most of all. What do you think of this way of thinking? And let's get behind away from the consent part, because what she did, and I guess what she's saying is, yeah, we should all just do it, is wrong. But what do we think about the concept itself that the best way to control or at least manage these 3 wild cards is to bond them to the White Tower and to specific Aes Sedai themselves? She wanted to bond Perrin. But Faio was like, you do it, I'll kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. and she's like, all right, fine. I won't.
I mean, like, you basically have a homing beacon to them. You can find them whenever you want. Like a
loosely
GPS
speaking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense from the Aes Sedai perspective if we trust Nynaeve and Elaine's personal and Egwene's, for that matter, personal perspective on these women, not just Aes Sedai but Dreamwalkers, and their self-possessed sense of importance, then it's not surprising that this is how they would approach it, right? I mean, and Moiraine for that fucking matter. I mean, just knowing what we know about Moiraine and Swan and their dedication to this mission, both from the New Spring and from everything we'd seen up until this point in the series, like, this is their work. This is their life's work and dedication to it. And yeah, if they can ensure that they can be there in the last battle, and I mean, and again, Alana's a green. She's a battle warrior. She's a battle Aja. Like, she wants to be there at the last battle. What best way to ensure you'll be there than to bond yourself to the dragon, right? Or to any of these.
Yeah, that's a good point, Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron. Yeah,
my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is likable on the show, but this Alana is hard to deal with. Yeah. And we are in agreement that the whole concept is horrible. Not just horrible, it's horrible. But she does have a point in my head that the best way to control Perrin, Mat, and Rand, if you need them 3 for the last battle, well, why not tether them through a bond? I mean, gosh, it sounds horrible to say it, but it's not a bad plan.
I mean, if you're trying to save the world, like,
you're trying to save the world,
at what
right?
cost, right? Everyone has their, like, ends justify the means ratio that they have in their minds.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a conundrum. It's a real Lollapalooza.
It's a real shiver me timbers.
I like that they referred to him as, like, the metaphor is a woman who captured and saddled a lion.
Right. Yeah, that's a cool story. Yeah. Metaphor.
And Alana's like, yeah, I can't believe how fucking strong this guy is. It's crazy. She's like, yeah, I imagine. Anything else about Varen's point of view?
No, just this bit about, like, there's still a lot to determine, a lot of decisions to make, and she seems like she's still trying to use Alana, again, like puzzle pieces or chess pieces. I mean, they all see one another as, like, again, the game of houses sort of being played out here in its own way, right?
Right.
Yeah.
How long have Alana and Varen been traveling around, do you think?
year or two.
Yeah. Okay. And then we jump to Iran POV. Right?
Yep.
He's like, I can still feel her. Ooh, Skeeve. Yuck. It says, quote, if he could feel her, could she feel him the same way? What else could she do? What else? He had to get away from her. And then Luce Theron's like, pride. Luce Theron cackled, and for once Rand did not try to silence the voice. He jumps into Gateway. He goes to the Grey Hall. And he can still feel her. It's fainter, but he could like point. He had his eyes closed. He could still point to her. He's like, God damn it. Let me see. He then goes to the farm. And Tame is there, and he has seven.
He's pushing these guys hard.
He's a drill sergeant. He's like, I'm gonna call you Joker. You think that's funny, motherfucker? Drop and give me 30. People are blowing up rocks. He's watching. Who is it? Flynn. Damar Flynn is blowing up rocks. Tame's like, man, these guys don't do shit if it's not with. They don't wash if it ain't with the power. They don't cook their food. Hey, if they can't make heat, then they're starved. They're just eating cold food. Everything, power 24/7. A lot of it. What do you think of that, Josh?
I think it's good that Rand has him to do this for him. And I've always joked about there being a black tower.
Yep.
And I think this is it.
Uh-huh. Interesting.
I like that.
Maybe black tower is the wrong word, but you know what I mean. The symbolic reflection, the yang to the yin of the white tower.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's funny that the same kind of disciplinary tactics, in a way, are being used, although these men know that they're hunted and not hunters. And so it's slightly different. The power games are different than they are in the White Tower, right?
Oh, interesting. Oh, nice. And good way of putting it. Do you trust Mazrim Tame?
No.
Okay. What do you think is his story?
Well, he could be a dark friend. He's definitely the type who could say "Great Lord" by accident.
Okay.
he did use the phrase "so-called Aiel."
So-called Aiel. Yeah, there's a lot of little warning signs. I mean, he says some stuff right when he meets Rand about like kind of affronting him about his position, right? And like implying that it could go either way, that they could follow the Great Lord or the Dark One or save the day, right? I don't think it really matters to him.
He also just knows stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just knows stuff, and he's fought off the madness for 15 years, which it looks like 2 is pushing it.
And we know that he was in the Borderlands. Why would, like I said last week or the week before, why would you be there unless you were going to Shao Ghul?
Well, he's Saldan.
Yeah,
so
but that's far enough away from the Borderlands that, right? I mean, it's not like it's right on the taint. Like he went into where the taint is, or not the taint. The thing that ate where Lannis from.
Malakir? The Tarwin
but the Blight. We know he entered the Blight and he fought Myrddraal and Trollocs, right? Or he encountered them. So why would you do that unless you were going to Shao Ghul or being taken there? Anyhow. That was what I was wondering about when he mentioned that. So it could be a dark friend, could not be, could also just be power hungry. Certainly doesn't seem to have any qualms about blowing up Aes Sedai's heads like pumpkins.
Right. Quote, doing an Aes Sedai's head like one of those rocks isn't beyond
them even now. The weave is only a little different. Yeah, exactly.
And then so he actually offers to kill the Aes Sedai and KayK.
Yeah, another classic sentence. For that matter, I can remove them myself if you're not up for it.
If you're not up to it. He's like, if I want him dead, I'll do it myself. He's like, yeah, you better stop. But no more going into Camelin right now to try and recruit people. He says that at the current rate, it'll take him about 6 years to match the tower's numbers.
The Rand is like,
yeah,
it's okay. 1 year.
1 year, yeah.
Go seek and ye shall find. And it's funny because again, it's the parallels with what Alana and Varen were doing, right? Like now he's going to be the one going village to village looking for men who can channel, right?
Right. But he's using gateways. He's doing it the smart way. Work smarter, not harder.
Well, the Aes Sedai don't know how to do gateways, right? That's something they don't know. They don't have knowledge about.
Correct.
Nope.
And Tame is actually, so he's like, yeah, so if I get 20 people with me and only 5 of them can channel, the other 15 I'm just throwing into the army. We're raising an army.
We're gonna start building because we know they will all be Dragonsworn, basically.
Yeah. He's like, and he says, quote, Bashir could change his mind. He will if Queen Tenobia tells him to. And who can know what these so-called Aiel will do? Good point. Who's to know?
So-called Aiel. It's a weird turn of phrase.
Right.
I will match the White Tower for you in less than a year. And every man a weapon.
Every man a weapon. Yes. So.
All right.
We
made it.
That's the end of that chapter. What do we think of the farm that's going on? Besides it being necessary, I guess. I mean, and we don't trust Tane. So, end game.
But he also seems like he's a good. Okay, maybe good is the wrong word. He is a teacher who gets results.
Right. And that's smart to make them heat their own food.
Right. I have respect for him, even though I don't trust him.
Okay. Yeah, he's effective.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is Hitler. All right.
On that
note,
holy cow!
This has been a great show.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
I hope everyone's enjoying the kind of faster pace we're taking on. We're going more broad strokes and yet less granular. We're hoping to get Josh caught up and to the end of the book so he can start joining us on full spoiler content.
I'll have more drinking obligations next week.
Yeah, Dan, that was really parsimonious of you.
Yeah. I could feel
I still drank plenty.
I could feel the lack. I really could. So we're doing chapters 12 until through 17. We'll stop at 18.
Okay.
That's 99 pages. 99 pages, but a bitch ain't one, right?
I'm sure there's at least one bitch page in there, but yes.
If you got bitch problems, I get bad for you, son.
All right, yeah. Be sure to join us next week where Josh tells us which page is the actual bitch page.
Which is
and
the
next
bitch
time on.
Meanwhile.
All
right, guys. This has been
Good night, guys.
We'll see
Good night,
you
everybody.
next week. Get
Bye.
to reading, filthy animals.